Are you looking to learn some Tears of the Kingdom tips and tricks? In this video we'll take a look at 18 tips that I wish I knew sooner. Make sure to stay until the very end because the last few tips will have you rolling in rupees. Even if you've got loads of hours in Tears of the Kingdom, I'm confident there's at least one tip here that you might not know. Now here's a sentence you might not have heard before. Icy meat shield surfing, gloom avoidance. Yeah, let me explain. So on Tears of the Kingdom you can do shield surfing, and to shield surf what you would do is hold ZL to hold up your shield, then you would jump and then press A, and Link will shield surf on his shield. This is a really fast and efficient way to get down hills and slopes and stuff like that, but to improve this tactic one step further, what we can do is fuse a frozen piece of meat or a frozen fish to the shield. This will make it really slippy so you get some awesome speed when shield surfing. So to do that, what you want to do is throw a piece of meat onto the floor and then freeze it using a white choo-choo jelly or an ice fruit, or if you just put the meat on the floor in a cold place, it will just automatically freeze it. Then before picking up the frozen meat, go over to your fuse ability and then fuse the meat to the shield. Now you've got yourself an icy meat shield. Now I know that's something you probably never thought that you'd want, but trust me, it's mega useful, especially in the depths. In the depths, if you encounter a bunch of gloom across the floor, what you can do is actually use the icy meat shield to completely avoid the gloom. As long as the floor is kind of flat or sloping downwards a little bit, then you should be fine. Obviously, the more that the floor is sloping downwards, the more ground you'll be able to cover with your shield surf. Just remember that gloom doesn't always equal doom when you've got an icy meat shield. Have you ever been paragliding to the point where you've completely run out of stamina and now you're plummeting down to the floor rethinking your life choices? Well, what if I told you there was a trick to save you from crashing into the floor? When it comes to paragliding and your stamina bar, you actually get one secret last pump of paraglider before you hit the floor. So if you've been paragliding and you completely run out of stamina, let yourself fall until you're just about to hit the floor and then press your paraglider button one last time. You'll get one very quick last pump of paraglider just before you hit the floor. Make sure not to pop this one too early though, because if you do, you still might drop a long way and feel the pain of your face connecting with the floor. If you fix up Lurelin Village at the south of Hyrule, you get access to free treasure every single day. To repair Lurelin Village, you'll have to defeat all the monsters around the area first. At the Lucky Treasure Shop, you get access to 3 free treasure chests, and you usually get rewarded with awesome materials from this. By default, you just get access to 1 free treasure chest, but if you head outside to the beach and pick up the cooked fish, the store owner will let you open the other 2 treasure chests in exchange for the cooked fish, giving you access to a total of 3 free treasure chests every single day. There's also a free treasure chest next to the cooked fish on the beach, and this usually contains some rupees. Once again, you can open this every single day for free. On top of that, there's a restaurant very close to the treasure shop, and at the restaurant you also get 1 free meal every single day. I believe that the reset time on doing this is daily, like in real life daily, similar to activating your amiibos. So make sure to head over here every day and pick up all the free stuff. If you fuse any material to a Gerudo weapon, it will actually double its attack power. For example, if you fused a material that had an attack power of 50, it will actually give you an attack power of 100 plus the base weapon attack. The base weapon attack power does not double, but the fused material attack power does double. So if you want to be dishing out some crazy damage, then whip out your Gerudo weapons. You can fuse a monster eye to an arrow to give it a homing effect. If you're trying to shoot down a particularly mobile enemy, then attach a monster eye to your arrow. The horse god Melania can increase your horse's stats. You'll find the horse god towards the northeast of Hyrule, and Melania will want a particular meal to increase a particular stat. So if you want to improve your horse's strength, speed, stamina or pull, then bring some meals to the horse god. Also, if you need it, the horse god can bring any of your previously owned horses back to life. You can attach a ruby to a weapon or a shield to increase Link's temperature. So if you're in a cold area and you need some resistance from the cold, then fuse a ruby to your weapon or shield. The reverse applies with a sapphire. So if you're in a hot area and you need to cool Link down, then fuse a sapphire to your weapon or shield. You can throw a dazzle fruit at the Stal enemies, which are the skeleton enemies, to instantly defeat them. For example, if you're adventuring and exploring and a bunch of skeletons pop out of nowhere, whip out your dazzle fruit and throw it at the floor near to the enemies, and it will explode a bit like a flash grenade and instantly take them out. You also don't have to run up to them and hit them in the head like you normally would do to finish them off. This only works on normal skeleton type enemies and not bosses or mini bosses. You can put firewood into a hot air balloon to ascend great heights. If you've done the mystery in the depth quest and got the auto build ability, you should have a schematic for a hot air balloon. This comes in really handy if you're exploring and you come up against a massive cliff. It can be in the depths or on the surface. If you're looking up at that cliff and you're thinking there's no way that I'm going to be able to climb that, auto build yourself a balloon, throw some firewood down in the balloon, and then set that on fire using a flint or a fire fruit, then just kick back and relax and let the balloon do the work. You'll find that this keeps ascending for a very very long time, so use this if you need to get over massive cliffs or you need an aerial view of the area. You can use a combination of Ultra Hand and Recall to launch a glider. As long as the floor that you're standing on is either flat or sloping downwards, then you should be good. Use Ultra Hand to lift the glider up into the air and then bring it back down to the floor again. Stand on the glider and then use Recall. Then stop the Recall when the glider is at its highest point. Before you know it, you'll be gliding through the air like a pro. If you combine the glider with fans and a steering stick and you're launching from a flat surface, just make sure to pull the glider up from the floor as soon as possible. Then you should be able to launch in the air and you're good to go. Every shrine on the surface is connected to a light route in the depths. So if you know where a shrine is on the surface and you're struggling to find a light route in the depths, just go to the shrine on your map, press down to go to the depths map, then place a pin marker on your map in the depths and you'll know that there's a light route there. Also, fun fact, the name of the light route is the reversed name of the shrine. You can offer a fruit at a cherry blossom tree to reveal all the caves around the area. So if you're struggling to find those bubble frogs / bubble gems, if you do find a cherry blossom tree, then offer some fruit at the tree. You'll be visited by Satori, the blue horse type thing. Then beams of light will shoot up from the cave entrances. If you fight in a stone talus and they throw their rocks at you, you can actually recall the rock back at the talus in midair and it will hit the talus and stun it. You can then use that opportunity to jump on the talus. This trick also applies with anything that enemies throw at you, such as explosive barrels and stuff like that. If you attach a Mudderbud to an arrow and shoot it at a battle talus, it will actually aggravate the talus and make it throw off all of the enemies, making it a lot easier for you to run around and take out all these enemies. Depending on the enemy, sometimes they can get instantly defeated by just falling off the talus. This one is kind of a tip / kind of a question. If you go to your Nintendo Switch homepage and then to your profile, it'll tell you how many hours you've played of Tears of the Kingdom. Mine says 75 hours or more. How many hours have you played? Let us know in the comments. Side note here, I think it's got to be at least 10 or 11 days since you first launched the game for this playtime to show. You can gain more rupees by cooking foods and then selling them as meals as opposed to separate ingredients. For example, if you cook a bunch of meats together and then sell them as a meal, you can sometimes gain more than 300 rupees per meal sold, which is more than if you just sold all the meats separately. The meals made with the higher quality meats usually sell for more, so if you're looking for a quick way to rack up some rupees, then sell some meals or some elixirs. You can set your Sensor Plus to track ore deposits, and ore deposits contain lots of rare gems, so if you're looking to stack up on some rare gems to sell, such as rubies, topazes or sapphires, then make sure to take a photo of an ore deposit, then head on over to your Sensor Plus and set your Sensor Plus to track ore deposits. Then it's going to play you that beeping sound when you're close to the ore deposits. If you don't have the Sensor Plus unlocked, then make sure to check out my Tears of the Kingdom beginner's guide. You can turn your luminous stones into jewels such as rubies, topazes or sapphires by feeding them to dondons. The dondons are located in Bronus Forest, which is close to Lake Floria. Essentially what you'd need to do here is go up to the dondons, take out a bunch of luminous stones and then drop them on the floor in front of the dondon. The dondon will then eat the luminous stones, and what you'll need to do is travel away from the area and give the game some time. I think it's somewhere roughly between 10 and 20 minutes in real life, and you can't have the game paused or in a menu or something like that. You have to have the game actually live and running. Then if you head back to where the dondons were, you should find that they've pooped out some jewels. I never thought I'd say this, but picking up poop is a really good way to rack up some rupees. At the Goron town, you'll find a Gerudo NPC called Ramella, and Ramella will actually buy jewels from you at a higher price than the general stores. To access Ramella, you'll need to talk to the two Gorons just outside of the Goron town. The two Gorons will ask you to sell some jewels to them for a very low price, so say no to that. Then Ramella will approach you and tell the Gorons to get lost. After that's all done, you'll find Ramella at this location in the Goron town. The only thing is that Ramella will only buy jewels in batches of 10. For example, it might be a batch of 10 ambers, 10 rubies, 10 diamonds or 10 topazes. You will have to sell her the current jewel that she's wanting before she moves on to wanting the next jewel. So if you combine the previously mentioned tips to do with rupees and jewels with selling these gems in batches of 10 to Ramella, you'll find yourself with more rupees than you know what to do with. Let me know in the comments which of these tips you found the most useful. If you did find any of these tips useful, a like on this video would be massively appreciated. If you're feeling extra generous, then please do share this video with someone that might find it useful. Some more videos have just popped up right now. If you did enjoy this video, then it's likely you'll enjoy one of those as well.